Here is Noodler's Polar Blue, a blue ink.
Let's jump straight to the end with my opinion on this ink.
There's some general spread that I had a lot of issues with in Polar Black, and it's here too. The blue we get, 100% of blue I would never purchase for myself. I had to really cut this review short because I was just so in my unenjoyment of writing from the spread and the aggressiveness of this ink. And now I'm not looking forward to the rest of the Polar lines. This one really put a sour taste in my mouth.
The pen for today is a Levenger TrueWriter with a broad nib. Now that we know my opinion on this ink, let's see how I got there with the first writing sample done on Clairfontaine.
We see this lighter blue, and I would really think that it's the only blue there. It needs to be a little bit darker, a little bit more vivid to it. It's got spread even on the Clairfontaine. It doesn't feather and it doesn't shade. It's there. It works perfectly well, but boy, do I not like what I'm seeing at all. This is very unfortunate. Looking at the back of the page, and I'm going to point to some areas where it got quite deep into the paper. I can see some of the ghosting coming through much more than I normally see on Clairfontaine, showing how aggressive this ink is. Now, it didn't bleed through touching the page underneath. For Clairfontaine, you can probably write on the back of the page, but the reason I'm going to cut out all of the rest of the writing samples is all day, this has been an absolute nightmare for me to use.
Let's take a look at some other inks from the same manufacturer.
Here is Noodler's House Divided. Here is Noodler's Black Swan Australian Rose. Here is Noodler's Black Swan English Rose.
Here is Noodler's Heart of Darkness. There's a lot to learn by doing multiple chromatographies. The one on the left is immediately put into water for 10 to 15 seconds. The one on the right, marked with a D, is let dry for 10 minutes before putting into water. Resistance tests are done to see how this ink can be expected to perform on the page, and more importantly, how hard it may be to clean from your pen. The smear is allowed to dry for 3 days before testing it. The highlighter is on the top left, pen flush is on the top right, 1/3 bleach solution is on the bottom left, and water is on the bottom right. With over 1,000 inks reviewed, let's take a look at some color comparables.
Here is Noodler's La Couleur Royale. Here is Noodler's Legal Blue.
Here is Noodler's Polar Blue.
Here is Noodler's Qternity.
While it's nice to see ink in the same color family, I prefer to see ink to complement the color on the page.
Here is Ackerman, their number 20. Here is Sailor Kobe number 11.
Here is Noodler's Saguaro Wine.
Here is Sailor Soleil.
So what nib and pen do I think are going to give the best writing experience with this ink?
I am just saying a dry fine is all I can think of. I did no off-camera tests. I just wanted to get away from this ink as I was using it. It was really, I don't know. I have very few truly I hate this ink reviews, and I hate this ink. A dry fine, dry ultra extra fine, something to get a hold of the spread and to get a hold of the aggressiveness of this ink, because it is not doing itself any favors.
I hope you got something out of this video, and thanks for watching. I want to let you know that the best way you can support this or any channel is to let retailers know where you heard of something if you go to buy.